All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Something came across my email just now, Pony. Duquesne added Ryan Murphy as a grad transfer. Did you see that?
I did. I think he becomes the first player in the history of local college basketball to play for both Pitt and Duquesne, which, I mean, is that something that you want to be known for? Is that something you put on a business card, or is that a good icebreaker? I don't know. I mean, it's obviously a unique situation. We've never seen it before. I don't know if Ryan Murphy makes Duquesne much better. I mean, I watched him play at Pitt last year. He used to shoot those arrows off, remember, earlier in the year, and then he went ice cold and he put the arrows back in the quiver and he never brought them back out and he left. So I don't know what Duquesne's getting with Ryan Murphy. He's well-traveled. I think this is like the 5th basketball program he's played for, Richie. So, hey, I've not watched Duquesne yet this year. They're supposed to be a team that competes for the A10 championship, which would be something because they haven't made the NCAA tournament since the 1970s.
Yeah. They had a pretty good team last year. I'd love to see those two teams play again, Pitt and Duquesne. Let's go out to the phone lines. Josiah in San Antonio. What's up, Josiah?
Hey, Rich. Hey, Andrew. I've been holding this in. I need to get this off my chest. There was a lady named Janine called yesterday, and she's right. Whatever the Steelers do, they cannot get credit. Mark Madden, Stephen A. Smith, no matter what the Steelers do, they pulling out these close games. Yes, it's not impressive, but they're winning. Now, if Tomlin was losing these games, these would be the same people. Tomlin, he can't beat the teams he's supposed to beat, and he can never get over these trap games. He's doing that. I mean, what else? What else is there for to do? I mean, I'm just fed up with the disrespect. I mean, they're undefeated.
So are you so Josiah, are you fed up with Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger?
No. I expect Tomlin to try to control the athletes to get them to play well. I'm just saying around the league, if this was Tom Brady, Brady, he can defy. He played till he's 60
Well, right, but
years old.
all I'm asking is if the coach says we played like crap, you're saying the media can't do that?
Well, because Tomlin never got credit in years prior when he would lose to these trap games. He's doing that. They're undefeated.
Do you think they played well yesterday? Do you think they played a good game?
No, it wasn't perfect, but they got the W, and they're undefeated.
I didn't ask you that. I said, do you think they played a good game?
No, they played an average game. It wasn't impressive, no.
No, they played. Josiah, let's cut right to the
Josiah.
chase. They played a terrible game. I mean, they won. They mostly won, Richie, because the other team could barely field an NFL team. And I'm just calling it like it is. And that's what the coach said, and that's what the quarterback said after the game. So I kind of like my company there. You know, I'm in a comfortable space. I'm in a perfectly fine space. And I'll say it again. If they take care of business, Bud Dupree's still healthy because he's not out there with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, you tweeted
and that's
that
something
today.
that I can't.
That's a good point.
What's that?
I saw your tweet today. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. They don't drop all these passes. They come out, hot start. They run down the table. They run down the field. It's a different game, and they could be up 20-some points, right? And he's not out there.
Yeah, and it's 3 games in 12 days, and Tomlin has done a really good job this year. I'm giving him credit, Josiah. How about that? Tomlin's done a really good job this year of when they've been up big lately. He's getting his best players out of there, Richie. He's emptying the bench like the walk-ons. Remember Pitt used to empty the walk-ons against bad teams. Remember those days? They used to bring the guys in when they'd actually beat bad teams in November and December and blow them out before they started losing to St. Francis. When those types of things used to happen, that's what Tomlin's done. He's gotten Roethlisberger out, Pouncey out, Watt out, Hayward out, Dupree out. They could have done that if they didn't shoot themselves in the foot so many times yesterday.
Yeah, and who's to say it wouldn't happen in the next game? But here's why I like the Steelers this year, Pony, and I don't know if you agree with me. They could have lost 2 or 3 games. Years past, they would have lost those 2 games, and somehow they're finding ways to win. I'm not saying that they're the best team in the NFL. They do have the best record, but I do think they are a much better team, and they're beating everyone.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be a much better team, right? Because the last 2 years, it wasn't even good enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what standard are we holding them to? If it's just, hey, they make the playoffs, it's great. Yeah, then let's celebrate. And I think it's awesome that they're the last undefeated team, and now you can only count on three hands how many teams have gotten to 11-0, and that's great. But you don't hang banners and get Lombardis for that. We're talking about, do they look right now like a championship team? And guess what? They did against Jacksonville by blowing them out, and they did for the most part the week before that against the Bengals. They played lousy yesterday, and if you want to look for a silver lining, it's that they played like dog crap and still won. But if they do that again, I can promise you, if they play that way against Buffalo, Richie, they'll lose. Would you agree with that?
I would 100% agree with you, and that's going to lead me to my next question for you. I know you and I both didn't think that they would be this far, 11-0. I mean, I thought they would lose before that Baltimore game to one of those teams there. Do you think they realistically can go undefeated? Do you think they will lose another game? How many more games at this point do you think that they could lose?
How many do I think they could lose?
How many do you think they would lose? Right now, looking at the way they've played, is it realistic to think that this team's going to go 16-0?
No, I don't think. No, I'm not picking them to go undefeated. There's only one team that's done it in a 16-game season. If that is ripping the Steelers, well, then I'm, tar and feather me. I'm guilty as charged. If that's a diss to say they're not going to go 16-0, I'll take all the slings and arrows. I think they're going to lose either to Buffalo, the Colts, or maybe the Browns in Week 17, depending on what both teams have to play for. If I had to pick a Steelers record right now, overall, I'm going to say that they finished 15-1, which is incredible. I mean, They haven't done that. That would tie their best season since 2004. But, in this era of NFL football, there are very few teams that are complete teams. And they had, I think, a roster that was built incredibly well, but they've taken on water. They've lost Bush. They've lost Dupree. They don't run the ball great. They don't even try, really. Their offensive line is not a good run-blocking unit. They pass protect great for Ben. He hasn't been sacked in 4 games, but I'm sorry if yesterday left a bad taste in my mouth, but it did.
Hey, real quick before we take a break here, I'm going to go out to Bernie and Care because he wants to talk about a problem with the Steelers. Bernie, you there?
Hey, Richie, how are you tonight?
Hey, thanks for calling.
Bernie.
You and Pony, you guys do a great job. You bring it each and every night. Tomlin obviously was upset at the post-game press conference for their performance against the Ravens. At some point, I still say that they got to establish some type of run game. Situations late in the game where you got to close a team out and you need a first down to prevent, from having to give that ball back to the opposing team. You got to have a running game to close it out and milk that clock for you. That's my only concern. I agree with Pony. I'm thinking maybe 15-1, 14-2. Just wanted to see your thoughts on that.
I 100% agree with you, Bernie. I think they need a ground game. I think they need a running game. I like the way Benny Snell looked in certain situations yesterday, Pony. But right now, you look at their stats. They're one of the top teams in the NFL in time of possession. So do they really need a running game?
They don't need a great one. I don't even know if they need a good one. But they need one that isn't completely incompetent and a liability, where you think it's actually, when you hand the ball off, it makes your team considerably worse. Hey, we've seen teams that have finished dead last running the ball win the Super Bowl. The Giants did that in 2011. But I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think that's really winning football. Snell, to me, Tomlin, of all the people that he put on a pedestal, and there weren't many, that's why I'm making this point, he loved what Snell did yesterday. He praised him after the game. He went back to that well today. Look, it's a quick turnaround, so if Connor can play Monday, I think he'll get opportunities. He's so good in pass protection, but I wouldn't be surprised late in the game if Snell's getting opportunities to run the ball.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's go out to our Tri-State Office Furniture tweet of the day. It's something I tweeted earlier.
Hey, it's you.
It's the Steelers playoff scenario, right? They have a way they could win a division this week. They win, and they need a Cleveland loss. But they have a bunch of ways to clinch a playoff berth. They need a win. That's it. If they win, they're in, right? Or they need a Las Vegas loss, Miami loss, or Indianapolis loss, and they'll get in. I think they're going to win this week. So, all right, back with more phone calls, some tweets coming up next. Stay right there.